This is Gaia-Centric Living with Erik, and today we're going to talk about holistic solutions for seasonal allergies. The allergies have been really bad this year. One saving grace has been the rain. We have a little bit of a rainy day here today, and the rain helps to wash the pollen away. I've found it particularly interesting the past few years how the trees have just been putting off so much more pollen. It's insane. Particularly remember a time last year where I was literally outside just walking in the woods, and it was like snowing pollen. It was just like green, green snow everywhere with a wind gust, and even for me, somebody that doesn't really deal with seasonal allergies, I did notice, obviously, just having all that, breathing it in. I started coughing, I felt a little bit in my throat and sneezing a little bit just to try to clear it out. And I can't imagine what it's like for people that deal with the seasonal allergies and all their symptoms all the time. There was one time in my life when I did get that, actually after I moved away and then came back to New England, and I had a little bit of an adjustment period, and I remember how bad it was just having the runny eyes, the scratchy throat, the sneezing, the nasal congestion, so on and so forth, and even just getting the postnasal drip and how it dumps into your lungs, and headaches and sinus congestion. The list goes on of all the different symptoms that we get from seasonal allergies. So, and it's tricky, being in New England, after a long winter, we're so looking forward to all the flowers on the trees and the green leaves popping out and all the plants just bursting forth everywhere with all the different colors and whatnot, But it's tricky when with that comes the pollen and the seasonal allergies. And for people that are just constantly having to take things like Claritin, Zyrtec all the time just to function, it's just an awful way to live, So I wanted to share some holistic solutions that you can use to take an alternative to that, And so one of the main things I like to do is show a qigong exercise that's really helpful for helping to clear sinus congestion and things of that nature. So we're going to start off with that, and then I'll get into some other things. Okay. So this is something that we do when what is called washing up. So we're smoothing out the energy, right? And so we're opening up. There's a lot of meridians that actually run through here, through your skull, right? And so a technique that you can do to open up sinus congestion, this can also help with headaches, all right? And so you want to brace with your thumb at your temples. This is actually a really helpful point in helping with the headaches and sinus congestion, right? So get a little finger rocking here. And then you want to so you have your 4 other fingers coming forward, coming to the brow, the top of your eyes, and you want to take your pinky and pull. You have a little bit of a pulling action. So you're using your thumb as a fulcrum, and you're pulling away, so left and right. So your index finger is pulling away. And then you can even start getting the knuckles involved. And then start making circles, so coming from below the eyes, either side of the nose, getting into the sinuses, that same pinching action. Okay, so bracing with the thumb, taking your fingers, making almost like a fist, getting the knuckles involved, coming underneath here, the eyes. So these points in here, you have large intestine 21. This is an incredible point to open up the sinuses. If you were feeling stuck and you started doing this, it should help to open things up. So you want to keep just making these circles around your eyes, the upper jaw, the temples. And try to breathe through it. All right, and then we're gonna go to the back here. Now you wanna brace with your forefingers each side of your head. And I'm gonna turn around. You can see what I'm doing. So you come from the bottom of your ears, you bring your thumb up to the base of your skull, and you'll find there is the mastoid process of the occipital bone. Okay, so at your hairline, at the ridge of your skull, there's two protrusions that come out either side. This is called gallbladder 20. This is Feng Qi in Chinese medicine. And what this is this is the wind gate. So this is what protects us from external pathogens, allergens, colds, flu, anything, right? But it also helps to open up sinus congestion. It opens up to the eyes. If you press these points, you actually will feel a little bit of pressure in your head. And it can be very helpful to open it up, okay? So that's a great little Qigong routine that you can do to open up the energy. There's so much more we can do with Qigong, but those were just a few points that I wanted to show. This last point here is called lung 1. Lung 1 is right below the clavicle, almost at where that indentation going to your shoulder. Okay, so right below that collarbone. And so easy way to find it is you make fists like this. Really good for the lungs, good for the immune system. And actually, you know what? I'll show you two more points too. These will be easy for you to see. So, after you do that a little bit, opening up lung 1, beginning of the lung channel, which is good for coughs, good for the immune system. In Chinese medicine, we see the immune system lying between the lungs and the large intestine, okay? So you also have the large intestine channel. If you bend your elbow, at the top of your elbow, here is large intestine 11. And it might feel a little tender if you're having some issues with your immune system, which seasonal allergies is always a deficiency in the immune system. The more you boost your immune system, you create your protective layer, what we call our wei qi in Chinese medicine, which is like basically like your basketball of energy, okay? And so the stronger you make your immune system, the more you can handle the allergens that are coming your way. So both sides, the meridians are on both sides here. So again, bend that elbow, go right to the top. So right at the crux of your elbow on the outer edge, at the top here, that's large intestine 11, okay? You can even do the same thing, tap. And then you're gonna come down the large intestine channel, and this is large intestine 4. So the way that you find this is you let your hands kind of dangle a little bit. You go in between the thumb and the forefinger up underneath the bone. Large intestine 4. So it's not pinching right down here, okay, at the edge of your hand, at that web area. It's up underneath the bone, large intestine 4, right at the crux. So if it was like an upside down V, or maybe like top of an A that you're forming here between your thumb and your forefinger, that's large intestine 4. Incredible point to open up everything to the head. So good for headaches, sinus congestion, okay? Another thing that we do is we use a tool called gua sha. I've talked about this before with other opening up with the immune system. Use it a lot for winter wellness, things of that nature, right? But you just kind of parlay that, all that support that we do during the winter months, doing the elderberry syrups and cupping, gua sha, different modalities, right, that can help to keep us strong for the cold and flu season. You can just parlay that right into the spring allergies or get that going in the fall, and it just is even more of a benefit going into the winter, right? So this is a gua sha tool that I use. This one is made out of plastic, but they have been traditionally used by either like bones or stones. Like this is another stone that I use. I have some rose quartz and other types of clear quartz, jade, obsidian, aventurine. These are some other crystal gua sha tools that I've used and I do sell on my website. But this is my favorite one. I've used this for about 15 years. It's kind of like molded to my hand. And I'm going to show you how I use it and how it helps with allergies. So you want to take a little bit of a carrier oil. I like to use MCT oil or fractionated coconut oil. And I'm going to rub it behind my ears on the neck. This is where a lot of the lymphatic system lies. So I do some carrier oil, and then I also love to use some essential oils. So I use medicinal aromatherapy through Wisdom of the Earth. And I picked 4 essential oils today that are really helpful for sinuses. We use a lot of the conifers, fir, hemlock. Firs are really, oh, as I drop it. Sorry about that. The firs, I guess I should have put the essential oils on first before putting the carrier oil on. My hands got a little slippery. So fir, hemlock, and all the firs have been known to help with sinuses. So you want to rub them in the area of the sinuses, but you can also put them around the neck, going behind the ear, coming down the nape of the neck all the way to the clavicle. Niuli, which is in a tea tree family, great for lymphatic congestion. Awesome life force enhancer, opening up chi, good for headaches. And being in the Melaleuca family has those same astringent properties. Tea tree oil, one of my favorite essences for headaches, sinus congestion, cedar leaf. All the conifers are really good. So pine, spruce, fir, cedar. Cedar's actually in the juniper family. So you can put a little bit on those same areas that we opened up at the beginning, right? You could even do a little bit of rubbing in again, that same exercise, right? And then come down the side. And if your sinuses were blocked and you did this, they should be open now. Another essence that's really good, peppermint, any mint, or camphor. I use camphor as well. Peppermint, you do want to be careful to not get in your eyes, but if you rub it along the side, it's fine. And you will actually get some of the vapors. Your eyes will water a little bit, but that's okay. Really incredible for opening up congestion, okay? So now that we applied the essential oils, we did a little bit of the carrier oil, I have my gua sha tool. What you're going to do is gua sha translates to scraping in Chinese medicine, okay? So you're gonna rub up and down right along the side of the neck here, behind the ears. And see, this is an easy thing that you can do for yourself. And you want to make sure you have enough oil so it can glide. So you're feeling like I actually need a little bit more oil. So I'm going to add some of the carrier oil here. Get that nice scraping motion going up and down. And then you can also go to some of those same areas that we opened up before. Go to the temples, go underneath the eyes, the side of the nose, opening up that large intestine channel, up to the brow. This is what gua sha has been really popular for, facial gua sha. Women use it to help with anti-aging, helping to prevent wrinkles. All right, so just get an idea of how we use this tool. Okay, and so if you can see in the video here, oh yeah, so I'm a little red. That's good. That's sha. Sha is the blood coming to the surface, okay? Sometimes it can get purple, and that's okay. It goes away within a few days, and it is really helpful. All right, so that is using a gua sha tool, scraping along the sides of your neck, opening up the lymph, opening up those sinus congestion points, helping with headaches. Okay, so that is some great tool that you can use. And if you don't have access to any gua sha tools, I do sell some of them on my website, chiforhealing.com. So you can check that out there, okay? So now I wanted to show a couple supplements that I use to help with seasonal allergies, okay? One of the main herbs that is incredible for seasonal allergies is stinging nettles. And it always grows in the time of year, for spring anyway, helping with the seasonal allergens, okay? So usually you harvest nettles in April, and it's called stinging nettles because they do have tiny little hairs on them that will sting, but when you dry them or cook them, that sting goes away, okay? But they're packed with phytonutrients, loaded with so much incredible medicine, and it does so many things. It's very anti-inflammatory, antiviral, it's a great nervine, helping with the nervous system. But we also, the main thing it's used for is we call it like nature's histamine balancer, okay? So this will do the effects similar to like what you're doing with the Claritin and the Zyrtec and stuff like that. Like it just helps to balance your histamine levels and build up your own, like helping with your response, okay? And so I put that into a tincture with a bunch of other herbs, and I called it my allergy tonic, okay? And it's super effective. If you take this 1 dropper full 2 to 3 times a day, it is really incredible to help to protect you from the allergens. And another one of the chief herbs that's in this, besides the stinging nettles, is astragalus root, okay? And astragalus root in Chinese medicine is a #1 herb to boost your wei qi, okay? And that wei qi, like I said before, is that protective barrier expanding around you to basically protect you from pathogens, and it's the strengthening of your immune system, okay? This one is very sweet smelling. Huang qi is the Chinese name. Huang is yellow, and so it is a yellow root, and it's known for boosting qi, strengthening energy, okay? Another herb that's in there is reishi mushroom, one of my favorite mushrooms, okay? In this formula, it's for its tonifying of the immune system, okay? So there's a bunch of other awesome herbs in there like cinnamon twig, ginger root, and I basically took a lot of the herbs that were in this formula, guizhi tang, okay, which is a Chinese herbal formula that we use for allergies, asthma, also help basically what's called clearing wind. So wind in Chinese medicine is the external pathogens, okay? And so we use this formula for all of those things, right? So I said, well, I should put these in combination with these other herbs that I forage for, or some other Chinese herbs, and see how it works. And I found that it worked really well. So, you know, I have the cinnamon twig. Cinnamon twig is different than cinnamon bark. It helps to clear to the extremities, which is what you want. You want to clear those allergens out, okay? And it's got some other great herbs like mugwort, goldenrod leaf, which is used to help with allergies, particularly the ragweed allergen in the fall, but it's good for all allergies. I put some mint in it to help clear the sinuses, much like that peppermint oil, stuff like that. So that's some of the stuff that's in this tincture. I also threw in some turkey tail mushroom just to get some more immune boosting properties there, okay? So it's got some similar herbs as the clearing wind formula that we talked about, which is used for prevention, but also can help to treat some of the symptoms as well. And then this is another formula, fragrant jade, I use from Khan, that definitely has some clearing herbs in it, but also has astragalus root, helping to boost the immune system and strengthen your energy, okay? It has mint and xanthium, fragrant angelica root, psyllar root, magnolia flower. It's all stuff to help basically clear sinus congestion and clear out that pathogen. If a issue arises where it turns into a sinus infection, I sometimes use a formula that's a little bit stronger. This one's called Subdue Headwind, or I also use a formula called Puji Jiaodu Yin. Okay, that's for any like infection from the head up. Okay, and so that one I use from this company called Sun 10. Pretty sure I have that bottle here. Yep. Okay. So that's like if it gets really bad and becomes a sinus infection and something, if you don't want to take antibiotics, you could try this first and it could help to clear it out and hopefully make it so you don't have to take the antibiotics, which would be great. So yeah, so those are some things that I have used to help with seasonal allergies. The other thing that is on my list here that can be helpful is using some type of nasal cleaner. So whether it's a saline wash, whether you're using a neti pot, something like that, but just to help to clear the allergens away from you. And much like it's just if they're stuck in there, it's just going to keep festering and keep creating issues. So it's just, you want to just find ways to clear out these allergens. And often I tell people to even like change their clothes if they were out and they have the allergies. I mean, I know I do that. I do have like a cat allergy, and so if I've had cat hair on my clothes, and it'll keep messing with me. So it's a similar thing for the seasonal allergies as well. So yeah, so those are some of the tips that I wanted to share, some holistic solutions that you can use to help with seasonal allergies. And if you want to find out more about some of my offerings, there's a lot of other things that I can do in person as well, using tools like fire cupping, auriculotherapy, acupressure, and more. And also, if you're interested in my allergy tonic tincture or want to purchase any Chinese herbs, go to my website, chiforhealing.com. You can find out more about me and what I offer. And you could also purchase some of the tinctures and teas that I have there for sale. And you can find me on social media at Chi for Healing.